Hi everyone, Sarah here. Today we're going to get into becoming. That can be really scary because when we take a look at our past and we realize what we've become and who we've become because of it, there are so many emotions and so many feelings that are there that present. So, not becoming who we think we should be, but becoming who we're meant to be. And becoming who we're meant to be, having experienced what we've experienced in our past, is a very, very different experience because there are so many emotions, so many feelings, so much that has to do with who we believe we are because of what we've gone through in our past, and who we desire to become is often so different from who we feel that we currently are because of what we went through, what we've gone through, and what we've experienced. There's this inner pull and this inner chaos and inner turmoil, especially when there's still connection to the emotional manipulators and abusers. And when you've gone through those experiences, I am here to tell you, as living proof, you went through them for a reason. And it may not seem like it and may not feel like it now, but you went through them for a very, very good reason. You wouldn't have gone through them if you didn't have what it took to go through them. And I know that's hard. And I laugh because it's hard, because I've experienced it as well. Decades of emotional abuse, of mental manipulation, decades of questioning, decades of self-doubt, decades of self-deprecation, and feeling like, really? That's just a bunch of crap, to be quite honest. Why? Why did I have to go through that? Why did I have to give years of my life and what I truly felt like was all of me and the best of me to someone who turned it around and continuously used it against me, continuously made me feel and think and believe that it was never enough, that it was never enough for them, that it was never going to be enough for anyone else, including myself. And in that place, you get stuck in your head. And when you're stuck in that place in your own head, there's still a connection to being stuck in the very place that that person who treated you that way is stuck. They're stuck in their own head. They're stuck in their own shame. They're stuck in their own blame. They're stuck in their own cowardness and their own lack. And you having those same thoughts, emotions, energies, and feelings about yourself is still a connection to themselves. So that's why it feels like, how can I ever break free from this? And what do you mean this has to do with my becoming? How can I become who I want to be and who I dream about being and who I desire to be if I'm still in that space? That space of lack, that space of blame, that space of shame, that space of guilt, that space of feeling like I'm never going to get out of this space. So today's message is about becoming unafraid of becoming, of being. The first two letters of becoming is to be. And we are human beings. We are evolutionary. We are multidimensional. We are emotions, thoughts, feelings, energies, beliefs, subconscious belief, conscious beliefs. And so many of those, because of the culture we live in and because of the past experiences we had, can feel overwhelmingly heavy, can feel consuming, can feel impossible to go from where I feel that I currently am to where I desire to be, especially when you look at the history of my past. It's like if you're looking at a photo book of your past and you're just seeing all of the times that you just gave everything, and every time you gave everything, it was never good enough, and you gave it to someone who just laughed at what you gave them. That, are you kidding? This is it? Really? I've got so much better than this. And you're thinking, well, this is the best, and this is all I have to give you. So what does that mean about me? And emotional manipulators and abusers will constantly say things like that to get you to believe a certain thing and to have you feel a certain way, because they're constantly looking to put you down here and them up here, so that you are looking up at them as if they're on this pedestal, as if they are far greater than you could ever possibly be. But it is that being and that experience that will transition, that will transform that, depending on what you do with it. So becoming unafraid of who you were meant to be. You were meant to be someone who had that experience. And I can say that from my own personal experience. I would not be who I am had it not been for them. And so when the tables turn, you become so grateful for their way of being and their way of being with them and with others and their way of being with you, because their continuous way of being that way with you continues to show you how much you've grown, how much you've evolved, and how much you've changed, and how much you've transcended. Because you can look back on that. And there's a phrase like, don't look in the back in the past, you're not going that way. But there's power in looking back in the past, because you see how far you've come. You see that that person is still doing the things that they've always done, the things that they did when you were with them. And when you've gotten out of that relationship and that experience with them, you move and you grow and you go another direction. And when you do look back, you can see the distance and the separation between you and them. And when you give yourself that gift of investing within yourselves and really going deep within yourself, getting to the very core and the very root of that version of you and who you were when you were with them, and transforming and transcending and changing that from within, healing those inner emotional wounds that were caused by them and caused before you were ever with them, that led you to being with them and staying with them, and led you to believing that you had to give them the best of you, and healing the guilt and the pain from having given the best of you to someone who would do that to you, and the subconscious and innermost beliefs about yourself and who you are because of that. Because who you become because of that is someone who lives in a state of lack, who lives in emotional turmoil and inner emotional chaos. You become just like them. Think about what it takes to treat another human being that way, to constantly and consistently put another person down, put others down, to belittle them, to shame them, to make them feel that they're not enough. In order to do that to someone else, that's who you have to be. And there's that phrase, treat others the way that you want to be treated. And nobody wants to be treated that way. We all want to be treated as equals. And if they're treating other people that way, they equally feel that way about themselves. Emotional manipulators, abusers, narcissists, they have this image and this persona, this false perception and projection that they believe that they're the greatest thing that walked this earth. But the fact is, they believe the opposite of that, because the fact is, they treat others the opposite of that. They don't treat others like they're the greatest thing that walked on this earth. They do in the very beginning, but that's the love bombing phase. And that is so false. That's so fake. That's so real. That is used to reel people into their world so that once they're in their inner world, they can reveal the truth about them and make them feel the same about themselves. They reveal the truth about them, that they don't feel that they're worthy or deserving of being treated with love and respect, and therefore they don't treat others with love and respect. So it's a mirror. And when you get out, you do that. You look in the mirror. And when you get out, you look in the mirror, you don't even recognize who you see, because who you deserve and desire to be and become is someone who is that, is kind, caring, compassionate, respectful, who is loving, and more than that, who deserves to be treated with that, who deserves to be treated with that in the way that they treat others. And you gave that, you gave this love and this adoration and this kindness and this forgiveness and this compassion and this respect for someone who it never landed on. And then you wonder, what is it about me? What is it about the shots that I take? I tried to have that land on them so that they could see that, because I saw those things in them. And that's a mirror that you do have those things within you, because you can't see in someone else what you don't have in you. That's why what they see in you are all the ways that you're not enough and all the ways that you fall short, because that's what they see in themselves. And that's the mind game of the emotional manipulator and abuser. That's a mind game of the narcissist, because you're seeing in them something that they can't see in themselves. And they're seeing in you the things that they see in them. And it's like, what? I don't understand. No wonder you do, because it's like you're looking at one of those optical illusion images and pictures. And if you get your mind really, really, if you get your face really, really close to it, it's like this. And then if you back away from it, you're supposed to see an image. And I don't know about you, but every time I had the opportunity to do one of those, they don't know, you don't see it. Well, just try it again. I see it. It's so easy to see. And it's so easy to see once you see it. But until you see it, it seems impossible to see. So it's like one of those images with all the painting and the picture. It's just a bunch of different colored dots. And you're like, it's just seeing like literally a rainbow of dots. There's no picture there. There's no image there. And they're like, yes, there is. Yes, there is. Do it again. Okay. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to stick your nose right in the center, like literally touching it, and then slowly pull it away. And so you try that, and your eyes get all blurry and fuzzy, and then it gets far enough away, and you're like, nothing there but a bunch of colored dots. I don't see what you see. And someone will argue with you and scream at you. It's there. It is there. Try it again. Do it again. How can you not see it? It's so easy. Look, it's right there. And you're going, nothing. I got nothing. This is stupid. Can we go do something else? And then you get frustrated, you get angry. You feel like you're different from that person. Like, why is it so easy for them? How are they so convicted in what they see? And I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying. And like, no matter how many times I try, no matter how hard I try, no matter if I put my nose over here or over here or over here, like they're saying, put it right in the center. I read the directions again. Place your nose in the center and then slowly pull away. Maybe my slow isn't slow enough. Maybe I'm pulling away too fast. And if I would just slow down, I could see it. And it seems like it doesn't matter what speed you do it, you don't see it. And it can feel very, very frustrating. And that's the experience of becoming who you're meant to be after getting out of a relationship with an emotional manipulator, abuser, and a narcissist, because you're thinking, is this really who I am? Is there someone who's stuck trying and trying and trying to see what I want to see, and I just can't see it? And that's the experience of what it can feel when you're trying to become who you're meant to be, because you went through that, because you experienced that. It's like, I just don't see it. You're saying that I went through that for a reason. You're saying that I went through that because I was strong enough to go through it, and because I had to go through it to become who I want to become today and who I want to be today, someone who's stronger, someone who had this opportunity to see the lessons through the pain, and to take the lessons and receive the learnings and leave the rest and see them for who they are and who they will always be until they choose to become someone different. And how am I not who they said I was? Because you get in your head and you get stuck in your mind. Well, they were right. And then your mind works to try and prove that to be true, especially when you're trying to become someone better, someone different because of experiencing that. That's not who I am. And you can use affirmations and mantras and statements that I am statements that are positive, that are who you want to become. I am deserving of being in a loving relationship. And your mind goes, hey, are you sure about that? Look at that last relationship. Look how long you stayed. Look at all the red flags you ignored. Look at everything you gave. And look how it turned out. And so your mind begins to work to prove why you aren't those things that you want to become. And you feel stuck in that. It's like, okay, no, I'm supposed to be someone better than that. I'm supposed to grow and evolve and learn and expand from that and never go back to that. And it's like, that's frustrating. It's like, I don't see it. I don't see what you see. And you're telling me I should see it. And it's so easy to see. And I just don't get it. I just don't see it. And when you're really working to feel unafraid doing that and to feel unafraid becoming who you were meant to be, it's like, how do you do that while being unafraid? How can I continue to go back time and time again and just say, I'm not afraid, here I am, I'm going to try it again, ready for failure. I mean, to get it this time. And it feels like like your unconscious mind is in this inner war and battle, because all the while you're trying to figure that out. You're feeling afraid, you're feeling emotionally stuck, you're feeling frustrated. And then you're going to the things that used to work for you. The stuffing your feelings, the bottling your feelings, the distraction, avoiding your feelings and avoiding all the emotions and all the things that you don't want to avoid, because you don't want to believe that you are who you thought you were when you were with that person. And then you fake it and you move towards, well, faking it. I'm just gonna, fake it till I make it, and read more self-help books and do more journals and all those things, and those should help. And then you do all of them, and another year or 2 years goes by, and then you find yourself in another toxic relationship, and you're like, dang. Huh. And then you feel stuck, and then you begin to beat yourself up even more. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought I went through that so I could become who I'm meant to be. And I'm not who I'm meant to be yet. And so now I'm afraid I'll never become. And the incredible thing is continuing to show up, whether you're afraid or unafraid, is part of the evolution, is part of the journey, is part of the growth. And the fastest way to expedite that and get out of that state and that mental space that you're in, having been with someone who treated you that way, is to get to the very core and the very root of it, not go around it, not continue to make guesses about what you think it is. I think it was because of this. I think it was because in my childhood and my past, my parents did this. And I think that when they did this, I started doing that. And I'm pretty sure that's it. I think that's it. You can think and you can play the guessing game all day long, but to really become who you are meant to be, having gone through what you did, the fastest way of getting to the very core and the very root of it. And not just what you think, because those are just thoughts. What you think is just thoughts. Getting to what causes those thoughts, because all of our thoughts have patterns. Identifying the patterns in our thoughts and then getting to the very core and the very root of what creates those thoughts. And that is where the power of your mind comes in, because your mind was changed, was manipulated, was transformed through those experiences and in those relationships. And when you get to the very core and the very root of that, the belief system that creates those thoughts, because thoughts are just what you think. What creates and what causes those things that you think are the belief systems about yourself. When you've gone through a relationship with an emotional manipulator, abuser, with a narcissist, you begin to believe different things about yourself. You begin to believe that you deserve that. You begin to believe that you're not good enough. You begin to believe that you're not worthy enough. You begin to believe that it's not safe to trust yourself. And so now when you step into, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to trust myself, it's like you feel your stomach go, sure about that? And then you hear it in your head, and it's like you feel it in your stomach and you hear it in your head, and then it's like, oh no, I don't like this feeling. I don't like feeling it in my stomach, and I don't like hearing it in my head. So let me go stuff and bottle my feelings, or let me pretend that I don't have those feelings, or let me just make sure that it's perfect. So I'm gonna just hammer at it until I make sure that it's perfect, because if it's perfect, then maybe those thoughts and maybe that feeling in my stomach will go away. Maybe I won't have anxiety. Maybe then I'll become who I'm meant to be because of that. But how do I get out of that? I don't know. Maybe I just need to order another book on Amazon and read more about it. And so you get caught in this web and in this circle. That was like this hamster wheel of that game. And it's a very tiring, very draining, very emotionally exhausting game. And it's a game you get stuck in. And it's this game that you feel like you're never going to win. I want to become who I'm meant to be, having gone through what I've gone through, but I don't know how. And the fastest way to break out of those patterns and out of that cycle is to get to the very core and the very root of what's causing those feelings, those emotions, those energies, and those thoughts. And that's the belief system, the subconscious or unconscious belief system that you have about yourself because of what you went through in the past. For me personally, it was that I don't deserve this. I don't deserve it. Because look, I thought I just wanted to be in a loving, kind, and caring, healthy relationship. I wanted Cinderella. I wanted, everything that they promised in the love bombing phases and the future faking. I wanted happily ever after. And they love knowing and learning those things about you, because those are the very things that they end up using against you. And those are the things that when your subconscious mind believes that you can never have or will never have, it keeps you stuck in the cycle of going back for more. It's like this addiction. I take it away from you. I've got it. You've got to come to me to get it. Oh, okay. And it keeps you going back time and time again. And they give it to you and you get a little nibble, a little taste of it, and then they pull it away from you. And in your mind, well, they've got what I want, so I got to go back to get it, go back to them, and then they pull it away from you again. So you get stuck and it becomes like this addiction, the cycle in this game. And you're ready to break out of that and to break free from that. But it's like, well, I don't know how. The fastest way is to get to the very core and the very root and transform the unconscious beliefs you have about yourself, because it's those beliefs that cause those feelings and create those thoughts. So when that changes, everything else changes. Everything else transforms. And then you begin to see the picture. You begin to realize they've got that thing that I want. But when I go to them to try and get it, they let me have a little bite and then they take it away and they keep the rest for themselves because that keeps them coming back to me. They are not the only way to get what I want. And in fact, if someone else has what I want, that means I always have to go outside of myself to get what I want. If I have that very same thing, no one else can take it away from me because I know how good it feels to get what I want. And if I have it and they don't, they can't take it away from me. And I can choose who to share a little bit of it with if I choose to. But if I have it within me, I don't have to look for it outside of me. Therefore, I never have to settle for continuing to play that game again. And I believe that I don't need to do that anymore. And therefore, I don't play the game anymore. I don't entertain it anymore. Mic drop, walk away, have a great life. Bye-bye, narcissist. Bye-bye, emotional manipulator. I don't need to play your emotionally manipulating games because I've changed the unconscious beliefs that I have about myself that say that if I don't play that game, I'm not going to get what I want. And when I don't need to play that game anymore, I receive what I want. I become who I'm meant to be because I now have it within me. And that is the power of becoming unafraid of who you are meant to be because you have within you that thing that you were trying to get that they promised you could get through them. You become the gateway. You become the portal. You become the alignment. You give and you receive. And you no longer believe those very, very damaging, negative, and limiting beliefs you had about yourself when you were playing the game with them. And that is where the power comes from. I always say this power comes from within. The journey to healing begins within. The transformation begins within because it's true. And when you have that thing inside of you, no one else can take it away from you. And that is the beauty and that is the power of doing the inner work to heal and transform and become who you're meant to be, having experienced what you did with them. Because now that you know how painful it is to play the game and give your power away and have your power be outside of you, and you've experienced what it's like to have it inside of you, and to know no one can dangle it in front of you and take it away from you, and that the one that you truly love would never do that anyways, it's a game changer, a complete game changer. That is how you are able to become unafraid of becoming who you're meant to be. Whatever it looks like, the feeling of what it feels like is the same. It's a feeling of empowerment, a feeling of contentment, a feeling of inner peace, a feeling of possibility, a feeling of expansion and growth and excitement instead of limitation and lack. And it is such an incredible experience. And from that place of power, you connect with others' power. You begin to see in them and you begin to truly align with them and you begin to pick it off. Red flags. No, that's a limitation and a belief you have about yourself. And I no longer entertain that. I've gone through that. I've experienced that. And that's because of that I now have my own. And it's not my job to get you to try and find or create or see your own power. I can't do that for you. And the ability to do it for myself is teaching you that it's available for you too, but I can't make you do it. I can't force you to do it, and I can't choose it for you. This is something you've got to choose for you. And we all get the opportunity to choose for ourselves. We can all choose to become who we're meant to be, having gone through what we've been through in our past. And some people choose it, and some people choose to stay where they're at and continue to play the game. And the beauty is we all have the power of choice. So when you're ready to choose to get to the very core and root of the beliefs you have about yourself because of what you've gone through in your past and become unafraid of who you are becoming and begin to I didn't see that before. Oh my gosh. And now you can never unsee it. It's like every time you look at it, there it is. There it is. There it is. And you begin to like sing and dance. Boom, shaka laka, shaka laka. Ooh, look at that. You can never unsee it now. It's a transforming, a transcendence. Oh my gosh, I see it now. And now that I see it now, I'll never unsee it. I see it now how I gave my power away. And because my subconscious beliefs My unconscious belief system has completely transformed, is now solid, steady, sturdy. I'll never go back to what I was doing that was making it unsolid, unsturdy, unsteady. I will never allow people in my life who come in with a jackhammer and try to break it up and shake it up and then tell me it was my fault. All right. I wish you the best. Goodbye. And it becomes so easy to stay in that and to constantly be in that and be surrounded by it because it's this healing and this transforming and this transcending within you that changes everything, that allows you to become who you were meant to be. But you can't know that without this. You can't know that you see it until you know that you used to not see it. So there's such a beauty and power in experiencing emotional, chaotic, manipulative relationships because you go through that and it shines light on the things that you need to heal within you. And then you can choose to heal within you. And again, it's a choice. No one's going to force you to do it. But when you choose it for you, everything changes. And it's so beautiful. You begin to see the world and what was right in front of you the entire time. And then you get to choose, do I want to continue to do that? Or am I ready to go do something else? I want to become who I'm meant to be. And now I'm unafraid of that because, man, if I made it through that, I can make it through anything. And that becomes the truth of who you are. And that radiates and shines in every area of your life, every single area. And you being that teaches others that that's available for them as well. And that's what I want for you because that's what I've experienced for me. And I'd love to guide you through that, whether it's through our program, Transforming Your Past Pain to Present Power, or whether it's through choosing to work one-to-one to get to it even more quickly. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much. I love checking in with you, tuning in with you, and connecting with you, sending you so much love. Mwah. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.